Today's episode will be updating the outdoor kitchen and the water feature. So lots of progress in this video, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, so today I'm going to start work on the outdoor kitchen underneath the second pavilion. I bought these steel studs that I'm going to make the framework out of, and I bought them at 12-foot lengths. So that way I figure I can cut them into thirds to get the height that I wanted for the counter. And also I wanted the longest length possible because I got to cover the whole inside here on one side, and on this side too. We're going to do the bar and a sink down at this end, and then that end will have a Traeger, a little counter spot, and then going to dip it back low for a Kamado Joe. And then I want to try to incorporate some wood storage for those as well. And never built one before, but I figure it's not going to be too hard with all the house projects I've had experience doing. So I got a little quick square and a marker, self-tapping screws, what is that, a cutoff wheel, tape measure, and I'm just going to go for it, see what happens. Okay, this is my lack of experience working with this, but I know that they make channels to fit the studs on the top, like a top plate and a base plate. And so I gotta go get some. And I was thinking I could just use the studs for everything, but it's not like a 2x4 where you can attach them together. They don't fit, so I can't like sit them inside. And it's not too big of a deal. The place isn't that far. I can run over and get those real quick. And then what I was thinking about is making the bar over here, you know, it's gonna go out this way. I think I'm gonna do 4 feet. And inside here, I'm gonna do about 2.5 feet. My wife had bought all the things she wanted out in the outdoor kitchen. So we're gonna put a Traeger. We're gonna take the footing off, the legs, and we're gonna mount that to a lowered counter. So it'll be permanently, I'm gonna see if I can permanently attach it. And then on the other side, it will again drop low for the Kamado Joe. So try to make everything at counter height for working on. So, and that is 3 feet. So getting these 12-foot lengths, I get 4 pieces to go vertical. And then I'll get creative when I need to work around the areas. And that's when I think, I'm not sure, we'll have to figure out how high I got to go up for the Kamado Joe and stuff. And I think I might do a complete opening underneath the Kamado Joe to store wood, but I'm not positive. But that's kind of the goal, is to be able to have a place to store wood here. So that was kind of the basic layout. I'm not going to go out this far on this side. I think I'm going to hug the post. So the posts will be within. I'm going to pour concrete counters. And I used to make, well, for one of my remodels, I made custom concrete sinks and vanities and stuff. And so I've got a little experience doing that. And so I'm going to give it a try with this. Wish me luck. So far this is starting off really rough. One of my problems, I mean, I helped my friend frame a house on the interior walls with steel studs, and it was not this difficult. So I'm thinking I have the wrong screws for sure. And what I think I need to do as well, because you gotta use a lot of pressure to get these to go through the metal. And so when you're pushing on these, I mean, it was constantly falling off. And so I think I need something that has a sleeve so I can keep the screws straight and get it to drill through. I've been pre-drilling them with the drill over there just to get the holes in first and then putting the screws in, and it's still a challenge. So it's not going smooth at all, and so I'm thinking I need to go look to see what other type of tools I can use. I've had these, but I'm missing the sleeve part, and so I didn't have that, and I don't think this little connection here is the right size for the screw. I think it's a little bit too big. So I need to try to figure something else out because it's kind of slow going and very frustrating right now. But I've put in 4 studs here in the corner, and then I'm going to do 16 on center basically from there, and still go throughout the right size. But yeah, not going as fast as I had hoped, but I'll keep plugging away. I ended up getting this sleeve, and this helped tremendously in keeping the screw straight and easier to drill in. And I didn't film all of it, but this is what I have right now. These aren't even screwed in yet. I was just placing them to sort of get the layout I want. This one will have the kitchen sink right here. This is a trash can receptacle area and another cupboard doors to open up underneath. And then this side, what I decided to do is use some 2x2 steel and just do a brace across to hold the Traeger. There'll be a counter, like a lower counter, same finish as the upper counter, which I may do in concrete, and I'm also considering doing like a quartz possibly. But anyway, it'll be the same level concrete. The Traeger will sit on top here. Then I have a 3-drawer thing here, and then it'll go drop down low again, and it'll be the same as this area, but this one will hold the Kamado Joe. And then I'll build this up as a pillar counter space around this post right there. And so I've been making some progress, and this is how it looks so far. There'll be a 10-inch overhang on this side for the bar, and it's looking good. I'm excited. I did all this pretty much in one day. Not the full day, but just a few hours. And then I did a lot of the detail stuff around here a couple hours another day. And so I mean, I am taking days to do it, but I'm also not working on it full days. But it's coming along. As you can see, I'm in the water feature area. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lay the 2 bags of sand I got for each tank, just to get it more level and a better platform for it to be more stable on. And I don't want pressure from like these tiny rocks digging into the plastic when it's fully loaded with 55 gallons of water. And I'm going to also put in a top so I can get the pump into the reservoir. And then I really need to get things laid out so I can figure out where I'm going to put the drain up in the top and where I'm going to put the feed of the water going into the fountain. And so when I get these things done, I'll be in much better shape to put this, I guess, ceiling or floor of the pond on. And I do still have to do the welding up here, get it all buttoned up, but I just wanted to get out here and make some progress. Okay, so this is in now, and the power cable comes out of here, and the pipe still fits in this little spot. This doesn't have to be completely airtight, but I want it somewhat sealed to keep evaporation to a minimum. And I will do something here I'll probably seal it with expandable foam or something just to keep it mostly airtight, just not completely airtight because you got to have air go in and out as water goes in and out, but a way to keep it from evaporation happening too much. I'm going to vacuum out the stuff in the bottom, try to keep the debris down to a minimum, and keep the pump, fairly clean, working well. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to bring these things back and try to get them situated so I know where to put the pipes and everything to do the plumbing. I changed my mind because I still have to cut holes for the plumbing, so I'm gonna just try to get that set up so I know where I got to put the holes, and then at the end I'll vacuum because I don't want to waste my time. I want to show you a little bit about how it's being set up right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the pump in here. We're going to put the return coming up here. And so I need to make sure that this space here doesn't have a metal beam. And then I think I'm going to do the drain coming in so I can mount it at least right on a corner and then drop it straight down into that tank. And now you can see, once I tighten up this ring here, that will link it here, and then this one. And I don't know if I needed two, to be honest. Maybe I only needed the bottom one for the water transfer, but I have two, and I'm just gonna leave it. So if you guys know, you can leave a comment. I'm pretty sure if you just have it in the bottom, it will transfer equally, but I'm not positive. So if you do know, you can leave a comment. And just as an update, we had some thunderstorms after I installed this, and that is all the debris that got trapped right here. And the water went through much cleaner, and so I'm happy with how that works. So we'll be able to get this going fairly soon, hopefully. I mean, I still have a lot to do. I need to get all the rough plumbing completely done, and then once I don't even know if I can really test it 100% because I would have to have the whole floor of the fountain up. But I could test transferring water from this location up to this tank location and see how it transfers and fills. And I've collected 260 gallons of rain from that IBC tote and this 55-gallon drum. And I want to use and transfer the rainwater into the reservoir in the pond, because if I end up using the potable city water, it will create like a white crust because the water's really hard, and I don't want to get that. The rainwater will always just evaporate nicely and stuff like that. So that's why I'm collecting the rainwater for this. And as it rains, this will also top off and fill, because water will drain from the concrete into here and go into the drain that you guys saw before in the video. On this side, this one won't capture as much over here, but this one will capture everything that flows off the concrete. And so I can keep a good supply of rainwater in here, and I can always transfer from what I collect from the rain gutters. And so here you can see it from the top. Okay, so I decided I'm gonna put the drain against there. So I'm gonna have to cut it a little high. I probably won't. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this valve up right about here, and that will allow me to basically turn off the drain. So when I want to drain it, I just come under here, turn that sideways, or where it is right now, and it will allow the water to flow straight down into here and fill the 2 tanks. And what I will do is, this will be the return. I'm just going to have it come up. I'm probably going to put a uniseal in here, right about here, and just put it in here, the return. And then for the flow, I'm going to go from the pump that will be in this tank. I'm going to go up, and the main one will be just going straight up into the water, and it will just kind of, the water will keep it from shooting straight up, and it'll just fill up from here. If I do have an issue, I can put something above it to spread it out as the water comes up. But I'm going to tee off of this, and I'm going to come across the center to here and go up from here, because my wife wanted to put a like a big vase in the center and have the water come up and spill out down into the fountain. And so that will have a valve, so if we don't want to run that one, we can have a valve there. And if we just want to run this one and not have a huge flow of water that will spill over the sides, I'm going to put a valve here, that same type of valve right here, and a valve here, just so we can control the flow from the 2 exit points as well. And that's what's in my head. So I need to get more pipe to make it all work, but I think I'll be able to cut this and dry fit the valve and a T as well. So I'm wondering now, I need to put the valve above the T so I can control the flow. And then I'll put the valve up here, the T here. That way it'll flow both ways, and then I control the valve. I can either turn it off here and it forces it all out the fountain, or I can adjust the flow by the valve on that line as well. So, all right, got a plan. Thanks for sticking through it with me. Okay, I put the pump in, and I wanted the T as high up as I could right here, so I could brace the pipe underneath the framework, but that puts the valve too high. And so I'm just gonna have to cut it down and make sure that the valve is down below this area by a few inches. So maybe I'm just gonna see if I can use this piece instead. As you saw in the time lapse, I have the wrong size valves. I need 1.5 inches. I do have some 2-inch pipe, and so I need one of those, and that'll be for the drain where it's coming down. So I'll keep one of them and then return, because I don't know if I need a valve for the return. I don't see any point in that. Definitely one here and then one here. So I need to buy one more 1.5 inches and return one of the 2-inch ones. And then I also need to find the drain so I can install it on that pipe. So I'll have the pipe come up, and then I'll fit everything obviously lower once I know how I'm going to finish the top. So still things to figure out. but making progress, so I'm happy. All of this water was the water I saved from the recent rainstorm, and I wanted to put a spigot on it, so I drilled a hole and I'm letting the water drain out right now. And the water is coming through right here into the filter, and when it gets high enough, the pump will kick on and put the water into the barrel on the left, and I have two connections to the other barrel, and the bottom one, I don't know if you can see it, but I tried transferring water already with it, and it went across to the other barrel already. And so the reservoir will hold 110 gallons, and this bottom reservoir will hold up to 27. But with the pump going, there it goes, it will drain it and then kick off. And an update to the water feature. This one will come out and come through the center right about here, and it'll go up into a vase that will be higher than the rest of the pond. And so I haven't got that vase yet, and so I haven't really completed the plumbing, and I need to finish the plumbing before I put the base down. I also ordered glass block, so I'm going to put glass block in the corners so I can let natural light into this area if I never need to come in and make some adjustments. We can utilize this for turning on or off the water in the vase, and then this will just come up to flood and deliver water into the whole pond so it can drain down the water walls. And so utilizing these, we can adjust the flow a bit. And then this one here is to actually drain the whole system as well. And so that'll be at the bottom, and we can drain the whole pond into the reservoir down here. And so I just unloaded the 27 gallons that were in here, and then the 55-gallon drum that I collected the rainwater. And so I still have another 55-gallon drum plus two 225 gallons. So I'm not going to be short of water, rainwater, to fill this. So, but this is the progress so far. This is all glued. And so as soon as I get some of these other parts, I'm probably going to get hardy backer and cover this whole thing, and then probably pour a couple inches of concrete to make the base. And then what I'll probably do is, I don't know where to get pool plaster, but I might just do like a black stucco if I can find something super dark, and put a sealer on it. And hopefully that'll work. If you guys have a better idea, you know, feel free to leave a comment. I'm probably doing it wrong, but that's the idea so far. And so this sand has held up well with the weight of the barrels in here. So I'm happy with that. And that really does filter the water pretty good, but I'm not running it consecutively, so there's some dirt in there. But I think that'll get cleaned up as I run it regularly.